Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of This Truth. I am Alan Prentup. I wanted to come to you today just to give a little bit of an update of what's going on in the in the world, in the country. Um, I've been away for a couple days, down under the weather. Back up almost 100%. So we're getting back to it. I haven't had a whole lot of time to really pay attention to a lot. So this one is going to be short. Well, a couple of things I wanted to speak on was the Charlie Kirk alternative or conspiracy theories. There's a lot going on out there. President Trump addressed the UN. Jimmy Kimmel came back on the air. Somehow, they struck a deal, and the ICE Center shooting in Dallas, National Guard rolling to Memphis. So let's get into it. Now, I was kind of under the impression that we would be moving away from the Charlie Kirk story after his memorial, but that didn't seem to be the case. I know I previously said that Candace Owens is mad and trying to get to the bottom of it, and every clip that I see of her, I can see it in her eyes that this woman is on a mission, and she's like a bulldozer with getting to the bottom of it, and um, she's not happy with what's being fed to her through the media. Just she's getting the same story that we are with the 22-year-old man with the 30-06 from the rooftop. Um, so she's tracking down every lead like an investigative journalist, and some things that she has said concerning Netanyahu and Tucker Carlson and uh, other Israeli supporters from the political standpoint. I don't know. I take an objective look at all of it on any story, any topic. I'm not quick to jump to conclusions on anything whatsoever. But apparently, she is saying that there's some she's tying in Israel or Israeli donors to Turning Point. There's been conspiracy theories, Candace Owens aside. I've heard of some conspiracy theories that it was an inside job, that the shooter was behind or off to the right or even down below, or some kind of foreign state sponsored assassination. There's been all kind of stuff that's rolling around out there. And any type of high level, highly visible figure that is assassinated or dies, there's going to be those theories out there. Remember Tupac and Biggie? Yeah, there's conspiracy theories around them as well. All four of our presidential assassinations, um, the RFK Senior, Jimmy Hoffa, Elvis. There's going to be some outlandish theories. I know Alex Jones has been talking about it. I haven't really heard anything, so I'm going to try to look into that if I get the time. Like I said, I've been under the weather, and then outside of that, I've been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to really get into any of the politics that's going on. I know there's more than what we're going to talk about today, but this is what I've got. And plus, I'm new to this. I'm learning how to record and everything. I'm flying the ship while I'm building it, so I know there's more interesting things that you could watch, but just bear with me. This will get better. I've got a team working on some things for me, so we're trying to do a better job at this. But yeah, Charlie Kirk. Fact of the matter is that he's no longer with us, and Turning Point is now being run by his wife, and they're continuing forward with with their business. A lot of chapter requests, so it looks like that company is going to continue to grow and fulfill the mission that Charlie Kirk had set out. And all the different conspiracy theories and alternative theories, Uh, I'm not putting any stock into those at the moment because none of them really make sense. Even the official story doesn't make sense. But one thing I found odd is that we have a highly visible, uh, influential person that is assassinated, and the location it got remodeled and paved within days. I was like, well, that was awful quick. It was awful quick. So it seemed like it just happened a little too fast. I don't know if that's for a specific reason or there was nothing else to see, nothing they need to follow up on there and take another look at, and it was okay. I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So um, I heard another theory that it was staged, and then he's in the witness protection program. So there's every kind of story out there that you could come up with. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So as I hear things, sometimes like, man, where do you coming up with that? And I was like, huh, that's interesting, but I don't have any idea. I just know he's no longer with us, and his wife Erica is running the company, and they're moving forward. Nobody's happy about his passing. Well, there are some people that are losing their jobs that have been celebrating it. So there's that. Still, thoughts and prayers to the family and all those that are affected by that tragedy. So moving right along, the president, Donald Trump, addressed the UN. He was met with a malfunctioning escalator, and then the teleprompters that weren't working, and less than stellar audio, microphone performance. So there's some things there, and he's not the most likable figure in the world. He isn't. We all know that. But I did catch some of his address to the UN, and one of the things that really hit me, that really stuck with me, one of my main takeaways, is that he's always going to be America first. His allegiance lies to America and the American people. And he encouraged the leaders of all the other countries that were present that they should do the same. There's nothing wrong with thinking about our homeland and our people first. There's nothing wrong, especially for a president to want the best for their people. There's nothing wrong in that. There's not. So that was one of the big takeaways for me. And another one is I would say that he kind of whooped up on the UN a little bit, just because of some ongoing uh, military operations in the world, notably Israel and the states that it's battling, and also Ukraine and Russia, and how the UN, I think he said, what was his exact words, were the UN's good for writing a strongly worded letter and not following up on that letter. So not inspecting what they expect and holding people to account. People, I mean, other countries. So I know he's not happy about that. He says the UN's got potential to be great for the international community, but it's not living up to what it could be. And I don't think he's wrong in that. I think the UN could have a more effective role in international relations than it does now. I don't disagree with him on that. I don't, and I share his thoughts and feelings, and he doesn't want people getting killed and dying and in war and from drugs. I feel the same way. So trying to stop the drugs from coming into this country is thinking the American people first. I get it. Trying to end the wars over the Middle East and Ukraine and Russia. I understand. Yes, I have colleagues that are from those areas, and I hear what they say. They say it's horrible that they know people there, or they know people that that have fled and that are now refugees in other countries because of the war in Ukraine and Russia. And it's horrible. All war is horrible. But with the human condition, war for some reason is inevitable. It really is, and it shouldn't be. We should all learn how to get along, respect each other, treat each other with dignity, and that goes with Israelis, Palestinians, everybody in the Middle East, and everybody across the world. And I was even the dictators in their own countries that are like North Korea. That would just be too perfect of a world for us. Everybody got along, country between country, and treated each other with respect. Didn't invade each other. Yeah, that would be great. But like I said, that's a perfect world. Um, Also, with President Trump, Tylenol, him and Robert Kennedy Jr. and other figures made the announcement of acetaminophen, possible linkage uh, to autism when taken prenatally. And I've seen some little snippets, some little shorts and reels across social media where there are ladies that are taking Tylenol just despite what he was saying, and I'm thinking to myself, well, his statement was based off of peer-reviewed studies, including from Harvard, and I'm like, he's not coming up with this idea on his own. There's actual data behind it that he has seen, and they're trying to address it. And with ladies that are pregnant, you take any chemical, it runs the risk of causing an adverse developmental issue with the unborn child, whether it's Tylenol or some other medication, illicit drug, alcohol, smoking. And I know, there's OBGYNs that their policy to their to the ladies that are their patients that are pregnant is don't take anything, don't drink, don't smoke, don't take nothing. And well, you just got to think about it. Any chemical that goes into your body is, runs the risk of adverse. I've got daily maintenance medication that's synthetic. Yeah, it does good, but it does have, its downsides too. But the upside outweighs the downside. And plus, I'm not a woman that is pregnant either. But we all want what's best for the child, and the child to have the best chance it can to grow up healthy and strong and be the next great leader of tomorrow, or be the next great innovator, or be the next great lawyer, or whatever the profession is, next great chef, anything. um, I've spent time in my younger years working with special ed students, and some of those students, it just breaks your heart. It really does. And it's not their fault, but they're doing everything they can, and so are the parents. And if there's any way that we can minimize uh, developmental issues in utero, then we might want to look at that. And that's all President Trump's doing. So if you take offense to what he said and you're taking Tylenol just despite what he said, uh, I would be careful. As always, consult your physician before you take any medication. So just be careful. I want what's best for you ladies and your unborn children. So consult with your doctor. Don't just do something just because President Trump said it's not good, and say, well, the hell with President Trump. Yeah. No. Talk to the doctor. Talk with your doctor, and plan that out. Don't do crazy stuff like that, please, because you don't know. He also said something about the vaccines, spreading them apart, taking them individually, and removing some heavy metals from some of them. So we need certain amount of heavy metals, but each metal is a little bit different in our bodies. So yeah, I can understand the theory in that, but I'm not a doctor, so I'll leave that to the doctors. But like I said previously, all my children were vaccinated. I was fully vaccinated as a child, so who knows? But he did say the Amish don't have those kind of problems, and they're on a strictly fresh, clean diet, pretty much. No vaccines or conventional Western medicine. So, like, the Amish know something that we don't. I don't know. But anyways, Jimmy Kimmel came back on the air. Apparently, Disney ABC worked out a deal with him. I did see his return monologue. He did get choked up, spoke what his intentions were not, but he did not apologize. And I know a lot of people are looking for an apology. Also, I saw reported that Sinclair and Nexstar that hold 25%, they own 25% of the ABC affiliates, said they don't care. They're not putting them back on anyways. And I'm neither for nor against Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't watched any late night shows in probably since Jay Leno was on the air. It's been a long time. But if you haven't noticed the trend, I don't know how much everybody looks at Nielsen ratings or anything like that. But even the late night show hosts, all the way down to your big time anchors like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Bill O'Reilly, Don Lemon. If you haven't noticed over the years, those with the big salaries are getting cut for different reasons. And the reason is the viewership is falling with all those brands. And it's been on that trajectory, and it's continuing on that trajectory. So whether Jimmy Kimmel got pulled or not, just like the other big paycheck personalities on network TV, they're on borrowed time. They're eventually going to get cut anyways, just because of profitability. As the older generation passes on, the younger generation aren't tuning in. So that's why the ratings are dropping. And I called that back in 2006 when I unplugged from DirecTV. I've been internet-based ever since. And I saw the trend going then. And I said previously, Steve Jobs had it right, that the world's going to go to apps. And he's right. I've got a couple apps that I watch a couple shows, and that's about it. And I save a ton of money, only cherry picking what I watch. Even with sports, I don't do the big sports packages or anything like that. College, I do NCAA, and I can watch every game by one team. And then, the next sports season, I switch teams because I watch a different team for basketball than I do football. So there's that trend going, and yeah, you can see Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Don Lemon. They've all got their own podcasts now, and making similar money, and a lot happier, or they're making less money and they're a lot happier. Bill O'Reilly, same thing. And I was even hearing big people come off the radio waves, like Howard Stern. He went to satellite radio, and I think he's done with that now. Look at what Joe Rogan, what he's doing. He's completely internet, completely, and he's the most successful podcaster. So yeah, so I think all of them's days are numbered, just because of rating trends. That all those late night shows and the big hosts that are still in your daytime and primetime slots, I think we're going to see all that move. They're going to get the axe and then pick up their own show, and we're going to get less expensive talent to take up those spots. I think that's where we're going to end up. Doesn't matter how funny Jimmy Kimmel is, how funny he's not. Same with all the other hosts. That's just where we're trending. It is. The ICE facility in Dallas that somebody opened fire on, I think it was one of the vehicles, and killed 3 detainees. Yeah, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. One, somebody shot and killed 3 people. Just off of principle, I don't agree with that at all. Secondly, somebody interfering with the law enforcement agency. Whether you agree with what ICE is doing or not, that's still a federal law enforcement agency operating 100% within the confines of federal law. It doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. It's the law. So you let law enforcement do their thing because that's the law. And I've said it before, from a prosecutorial and judicial standpoint, whoever that shooter was needs to be prosecuted and prosecuted to the fullest extent. No more of the slap on the wrist and let repeat offenders go to repeat again. I just saw on the local news during my lunchtime today that we have somebody that's one of the most wanted individuals, has been arrested 12 times. And the local officials in Lee County are looking for him, Lee County, Florida. So at what point do repeat offenders deserve an extended stay? Yeah, it's going to cost taxpayers money, but what's more important, costing the taxpayer money or putting the general public in danger? Whether it's drugs, violent crime, theft, doesn't matter. There's too many repeat offenders that are repeat offenders that are repeat offenders. And I challenge the state governors of all 50 states, the state's attorneys, the local, the county DAs, all of them, to, I don't think we should have a pick and choose, let's make a deal for repeat offenders. I don't think we should, because it's not working, because they're repeating and continually repeating. Yeah, you make one mistake or two mistakes and get that second chance, and you don't commit any more crimes. It worked. But when you're 12, 15, 30, 40 arrests in, at what point do we say enough is enough? We need to set you up with an extended stay. Obviously, it's not working. You're not being remediated. So we've got to do something different. And I had breakfast with an attorney this morning, and he's been an attorney for 48 years. He somewhat agreed with me. He said, yeah, it's bullshit. Somebody commits a violent crime, they might get, however much time in jail, not very much, get a ton of probation or suspended sentence and let go, and then they pick up another charge, and then they repeat that process, and it's like, what are we doing? We're just wasting the court's time. We're wasting judicial and prosecutorial resources. We need to take a long, hard look at that. Everybody in the local governments to state governments, we need to take a long, hard look at that, and that's probably a good reason why I'm not a politician, because I would be very tough on crime, because enough is enough. It really is. And lastly, National Guard going to Memphis. I haven't heard a whole lot else about it, but being from Memphis, I know that the Memphis and Shelby County government officials, they're not happy about it. One of them even asked, hey, just send us money. Huh? Nah, boo, we ain't sending no money. You don't need the money. You need to prosecute. And Memphis is an example of repeat offenderdom, letting people go only to commit more crimes. And it's a revolving door of repeat offenders. Memphis is a very violent town. And I hate to say that because it's very close and dear to my heart, but I stopped flying to Memphis to visit family. I now drive because I don't have any family that really stays in Memphis. I've got a couple people, but they come out of Memphis to other family members' house during the holidays. We don't hold family holidays at their houses. They come out to the suburbs out in Shelby County or in North Mississippi, primarily North Mississippi. And I take a 13.5-hour drive there. It takes all day. I absolutely hate it. But I don't like flying into the hood of where the Memphis airport is and having to travel through the hood to get to where I got to go. And so I just drive now. And, I wish DeSoto County, Mississippi would open up a little airport and we could get Allegiant to fly from Punta Gorda to wherever in Mississippi. I'd be happy with that, because I have no need to go into Memphis, and I don't want to put myself at risk. My parents were raised in Memphis. I lived in Memphis till I was 16, and I did all kind of business in Memphis till I was 40, 41, 42 years old. So And in response to the National Guard going to Memphis, DeSoto County, Mississippi, the new sheriff down there, oh, he's ready. He put out a warning to any criminals in Memphis. Hey, if you're thinking about coming over the state line when the guard gets there, we're ready for you. We got a place for you to stay. We're going to take you to jail. We're going to take your car to jail. And that's going to be that. We're ready and waiting on you. And I know a lot of people in Memphis that aren't criminals, that did not even want to go to DeSoto County, Mississippi socially. So I'm not going down to Mississippi. I ain't going to Mississippi. They don't play around down there. And no, they don't. No matter if it's South Haven, Olive Branch, Hernando, Horn Lake, doesn't matter. None of those police departments play down there. They don't have that soft stance on crime like the city of Memphis. And a mayor in South Haven, Mississippi, during his tenure as mayor of South Haven, closed off a street because that was a common escape route for people coming from Memphis to South Haven to commit crimes and go right back into Memphis to escape South Haven police. There's plenty of north-south avenues from DeSoto County to Memphis, Tennessee, plenty of them. And that just happened to be a common one because the area right there is, one of the hoods in Whitehaven, but there's probably eight more streets you can take north-south, maybe 10 that go into Whitehaven. So there's mixed feelings in Memphis. Memphis is a very culturally diverse city. It really is, predominantly African American, but there's still a lot of cultural diversity there between African Americans, whites, Vietnamese, Korean, Hispanic. There's a little bit of everybody in there, especially when you in the Midtown area. So I know there's mixed feelings about that, but me being from there, I think it's a good thing. And if they can put a dent in it and show Memphis how to deal with crime more effectively, I think that would be a good thing in any city that's got high crime. If the guard goes in and flips it around, I think would be an excellent thing, because I don't like crime either. It's why I live where I live. It's very low crime. I don't want to live in a high crime area. I don't want to put bars on all my windows. I don't. The days of having the little steering wheel thing on the car, plus an alarm, I didn't do nothing. People are still stealing them. So I don't want to have to worry about any of that. I don't have to worry about getting carjacked at the stoplight or in the grocery store parking lot. I don't worry about it. And where I live, I don't have to worry about that. So unfortunately, I don't live in Memphis, and I wish Memphis the best of luck, and I hope that the guard helps. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with it, but I hope it helps you. I really do. So as always, the truth for the week is, for the week, the day, the month, until it's corrected, the truth from me is going to be treat everybody with dignity and respect. We're all human beings. We're all in this together. We all go through this together. So be kind to everybody. Treat them with dignity and respect. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they've been through, and you don't know what they're facing currently. And I think if we can focus on that a little bit more, I think we'll end up in a better place. It might be tough at first, but I think ultimately we'll end up in a better place together. So yeah, anything, let me know. Until next time, I'm Alan Print for This Truth. God bless.